Hey, what's up, legends? How are you guys all doing? I hope you're having a fantastic day. I hope you're having a fantastic day and that you're all doing well. It's Friday, it's the end of the week, and what better way to end this week than to do something that I might actually have done a couple of times before, but every time I do it, it's actually nerve-wracking because we're using one of those pens, you know, the paint markers that could eventually explode onto the canvas and could ruin the whole piece. And we're not just using a regular piece. We're not just drawing on, you know, paper or something that is cheap or like not so expensive or like less costly to replace than paper or just a canvas. No, what we're using today is a MacBook Pro. It's a full working MacBook Pro that, you know, it still works and it's going on. And we're using this one, so I hope that my insurance company isn't watching my YouTube live streams and hopefully that are not gonna look at this afterwards after I have destroyed this piece. Perhaps, you never know what could happen. But you know, the reason why I'm doing this is actually, if you're walking into a cafe, you're sitting at a cafe, you want to open your MacBook, like yes, you can show that you have a Mac and it's awesome. You can have some stickers on that. You can use all these fancy cool things. But you know what is really, really cool? Is if you have some really fancy art on there. You have something custom made. If your MacBook is customly created for that. So this is what we're going to do today. We're going to customize my MacBook. I'm customizing my MacBook. What you are doing with your MacBook, please do not tell anyone that I've told you to do anything. So I'm gonna try to keep my hands clean from that. Hopefully you will do that too. But I'm excited to be here today and to get started, because what better way to end the week than to create something and to go. On my side here, I've got a lot of pens, colorful pens. I have actually no clue what I'm doing today. And since I told you guys, every time I do these things, something can go wrong. Something usually goes wrong, so I anticipate that. But I'm gonna be starting by actually doing 3 steps. So number 1, usually what I would do is to actually use sandpaper, wipe it all away, and make sure that the surface is perfect to draw on. Today, I don't have any sandpaper, so we're skipping this part. But then step number 2 is using a pencil. Doesn't really matter what type of pencil you're using. I'm using the Stabilo HB, well, not actually HB, it's a 2B pencil, which is perfect to just sketch on there. So we're gonna use a sketch, and I'm actually not gonna even sketch it beforehand on the piece of paper, but I'm gonna sketch it right on this MacBook. Something you should never do if you're doing or using something really expensive. So this is what I'm doing today. I'm gonna be customizing my MacBook, and you're gonna watch me do it or not. Hopefully you'll create something alongside me, because what better way? See, something always goes wrong, right? So yeah, no, I'm recording this here with my camera so we can switch the view so that you guys can see this beauty work at work. So I'm gonna get started, and let's see. Oh no, I messed this up. I totally messed this up. So here we go. I'm here in the corner. I'm just gonna make myself a tiny little bit bigger. I shouldn't have clicked on that button, but I did, and I'm sorry, it happened. But I can scale this image up a tiny little bit because I don't know what Blackmagic thought of. Blackmagic is the company that creates these pieces, but here we go. We're just gonna place this somewhere that you guys can see. There we go, and we're good. Okay, so I got my canvas, and I'm gonna start sketching on here. So the pencil actually, whoa, it actually works really, really well. So let's see if I can also erase really well, because otherwise we're gonna have pencil marks. This is not that great. Okay, create to inspire. So that is what I'm gonna write on my MacBook, and it's gonna be awesome, legendary and awesome. It's gonna be a little bit slanted here. Create. There's the Mac logo that is a little bit in the way. Why Mac do you create something that is right in the way? That is not very helpful, but it is the way it is, and we're just gonna work around that. Now you might ask, Stefan, what kind of pens do you use on this? As I told you, I rarely do know what I'm using, but you see, I've got a lot of options over here, which I'm gonna be using for this piece. And we'll see if this is gonna work out or not. And it's gonna be awesome. So just at the beginning of the week, when I got back from my trip, I told you guys that's what we're doing, like letter your dream. So I'm unfortunately not gonna give away this MacBook, but again, the story behind the first MacBook that I drew was actually, I wanted to do this for a long time, and I thought of like, hey, what could capture the attention of people on Instagram? And so I thought maybe lettering on a MacBook could work and can go really, really well, or terribly wrong, you never know. So I thought like, hey, does anyone else have a MacBook that I could use, can draw on? Because I didn't want to draw on my own. Of course, who would want to draw on their own MacBook at first? You never know how these things can turn out. So I eventually decided, you know what? I'm just gonna try it myself and try to draw on it. And I wrote a weapon of mass destruction. No, actually not. I wrote weapon of mass creation. And when you write things, think of the consequences where your MacBook will be seen. Cafes, that's fine. Airport security, that is absolutely not fine. So yeah, every time I pulled out my MacBook at the security, so that was a lot. I'm just gonna quickly focus. INSP IRE. Ooh, perfect. INSPIRE. Inspire. Perfect. Okay, back to the story. So again, I had on my first MacBook, weapon of mass creation. Now again, imagine taking this out at the TSA and you have something on your MacBook that says weapon of, and of course the second part is totally fine, but TSA agents don't have that great sense of humor as you could imagine. So yeah, I got asked or had some weird looks a lot of the times, and sometimes, yeah, it wore off after a while because these surfaces are not made to really hold that on for such a long time. But hey, that was the time. It was weird, and I went through it, got out of it, and we're back here. And I'm again writing something else now. So this time, do not write weapon or anything that could get you arrested at the TSA. Thankfully, TSA agents weren't nice enough to let me go always afterwards. But again, when they always said, like, it really happened the very first time, they said, like, can you take out your MacBook and your device? And I'm like, whoa. And I never thought of having that I had to do that. But hey, that's the story of my very first MacBook. The second MacBook, how many MacBooks did I did? I think I made around 3 MacBooks or 4 MacBooks that I drew on, not more than that. Okay, so I got here, create 2, and now just gonna add the 2, small way, and then I'll create kind of a just straight lines like that. All right, I'm not sure if you guys can see a lot from here. I can see it really well, which is perfect, but I'm not sure if you guys can. And this here will actually be in 3D, so it will, yeah, that doesn't matter right now. I don't need to know that. It's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine. It's going to be fine. Okay, so here we go. Now I gotta decide what color I'm going to use on this MacBook. My assistant is using this MacBook most of the time, so that could do a lot, but I'm gonna use a strong color to let the type stand out. So I'm gonna use a darker color for the first part. So anything that's dark, blue-ish, maybe the strong blue here, or just a black. A black could work really well. So before I try this, I'm gonna turn the Mac around like that, and I'm gonna use the surface that you rarely will see to try out the surface, and then to see whether or not I can use one of these pens. So this one is a Sharpie. It's a paint oil-based Sharpie with a medium tip, and I'm gonna use also a sketchbook here to press on, just to get the ink flowing, which is really important. So this one here helps me to get the ink flowing. And I wonder, so it actually, ooh, it sticks really well, but it still does a little bit go off, but that's fine. The question is just, what else could I use it with? So here's a gold. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. I've got Posca markers, but I got a white Posca marker, which on silver you can barely, well, you guys can see that actually really well. Stands out really, really nice. I like that. Okay, still on the black, but with the black we could use maybe this metallic blue, which doesn't, like, it's super dark. It's not that light as I hoped it would be. What about this here? Oh, this is nice. This is a bright blue. I just need 3 elements to stick out. So one is the dark, that's what I want to write with. The background, that is going to be a different color. So I just messed up the whole laptop here, and let's see if I can then remove it. But I feel like using sandpaper, I could really rough it up and get it out. But again, it's really important to test it out, not on the surface you want to work or some other thing, but like to test it out first and foremost on the part that you're not gonna waste. So here we go. Let's see. Okay, so let's get started, and let's write this on here. So I usually start with the very first letter. The parts, like, try to always go in the direction where you will least have problems with of smudging. That's the part that I want to say. So wish me luck. It's I'm not sure if that's gonna work too though. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. It does actually write really, really well. So I'm trying to find the right spot, right angle, so I don't have too much light reflection. As you can imagine, my concentration levels are going up, and with that, my ability to speak are going down, as my full concentration is on the lines, on getting those lines as perfect as possible. And this is stressful in some ways, but somehow also really fun, because I feel like you can mess that up so easily. But also just writing on a different surface is really exciting. So first thing that I've noticed here with this pen is as soon as it dries or dries down, it gets really uncomfortable to draw on top of it. Like filling out pieces that you haven't filled out properly are not extremely great with an oil-based marker. Also, if you have the question about whether or not it will hold the test of time, my guess is probably not. And are those pens really made for these type of surfaces like metal and stuff like that? Again, I have no clue, but I really feel like these are awesome. And I should do more stuff with those pens on the surface. And yes, maybe seeing all these popular videos pop up by ZHC or these other YouTubers where they say like customizing this and this person's MacBook or drawing on 10,000 iPads. Well, they've got like ridiculous numbers. I thought I would start with my very first one here on YouTube, doing my first custom MacBook and do it live. I feel like doing it live puts a bigger stress on everything than just doing it right away or shooting a video around it, because if you mess up, you can just start over. And if you are live, you cannot just start over. But you guys know that. You guys are aware of that. Alright, now I gotta move around because I gotta somehow get this tea. All right. Okay, that looks fine. Trying to look at it from all the angles. Then we got here the two. Seeing here, maybe I need to move this camera around just a tiny little bit. Whoa. Something is weird. I feel like when the ink dries on the pen itself, then it kind of like goes wrong, but it's still supposed to work. My concentration levels are still at high capacity, trying to figure this all out and not to get too distracted. So this is maybe not as interesting to watch, but I'm trying just to get those lines right, getting those block letters spaced out perfectly and consistent as well, so that the I at the beginning has the same thickness as the other letters as well, and especially the I that comes after here, keeping those lines in a similar straight fashion. And this is why the sketch at the beginning was so important. And another part as well is when you're drawing just anything, like it's fine if your lines might not be as straight, if you do not have that consistency, but you realize that when you're drawing letters, you just want to keep the spacing right, and the thing is, a lot of people can tell whether or not it's right or something is wrong, and so I hate to be the guy that messes up, but it happens. It always happens, and so no need to try to always go that out of the way, especially if it's stopping you from creating. Then you better try it, do it. All right. So this is part one. Part one of a couple more. And what we're going to do next is to color in the background, which I kind of created a nice... Okay, this is going to be terribly difficult. Making sure that I don't smudge anything. Also just realizing that there is still some red spots here. Might have to do them just at the end. All right, so next up, the putting in the color, which is not sure which one I will take. So who do I see here? I see Ramil Supernova in the chat. I see Cali Color, Catalina CNV, Dominic Chan, Cortland, Sarah L. So many people in the stream. All right, that's awesome. Okay, let's see which color I will fill in the rest. And maybe I should actually also go with one of those with the same marker type. See if I can find maybe something. Oh, this one is brand new. So let's see if I can get it to work. And there's a lot of pumping first to be done, but it's coming. I think better than nothing is just to try it out. The other one would be just to do it in white, but I don't know, white is, maybe we should do it really colorful. This one doesn't seem really to do anything. Okay, let's try this with the blue here, and let's just go for it. I feel like this is dry. So this is the part that it gets interesting now. It's because you get two colors, but suddenly you have three because you have the background that suddenly plays a 3D element. And so everything becomes a little bit more interesting. Okay, so let me know in the comments below. Give a rating from 1 to 10. How much would you like to have this MacBook? And or do you want to create your own? And also, how much do you like the style of using like these two colors, using a different than just white color for the background as a style element? Solid 9.3. Thank you, Dan, for being so precise with the exact rating. Not just a 10, not just a 9, but a solid 9.3 to 8. 1200 out of 10. That is absolutely a great score for me. Thank you so much, Anna, for this kind score. Alright, this looks like we're getting done. It's almost done. I feel like there are just a couple of tweaks that I need to make here. So here I'm just gonna go a little bit over the lines because I know that I can go with black on top of it again. I just want to have those crispy lines here. And make sure that that's all good. A little looks fine. Maybe just here a tiny
Lord
bit.
knows I ain't seen that in a while, but it's your style. So something must be up keeping you down. You a
Yeah,
queen
the
that
rest
must
looks
be heaven sent.
pretty fine to
Pray
me.
my soul, I must repent for not telling you what I meant and how I felt. Honestly, I'm used to throwing.
See, you always will find a couple of things here and there that you need to correct, need to make better.
That's a lesson that I learned all by myself.
So where did I start here? So the thing with oil-based markers, as far as I can tell right now, it's a lot more glossy than Posca markers. And I'm not sure if that's just the case or if I'm just ignorant to that. But it looks really nice. And what I can do now is probably add some finishing touches. Getting a Posca marker, for example, with the white. Where is my Posca marker? There it is. Let's see if I can add some decorative elements in here to just make it stand out. Because I always love these flashes here and there. And I want to make them a little bit bigger. Alright, and then maybe just some final touches. Kind of looks or resembles a galaxy styled piece. That might have been just a tiny little bit too much. And I might have to redo that just to get it back. Let's let it dry quickly. But other than that, I'm really happy how it turned out. Just wondering if I can erase some parts here. Oh, this works really fine. Oh, see, there's one little part here where I forgot. Scary, very scary. But here we go. That's create to inspire, a piece created here directly on a MacBook Pro. You might by now not even realize that it's a MacBook Pro anymore, but it is. It's a full piece. It's going on. It's looking good. I feel like it's looking good. Let's see. All right, so we got here the MacBook Pro. Whew. Look at this. This is how you do a reveal with the lights and how shiny it is and how it looks. All right, so this is the MacBook Pro, create to inspire. And so if I would take it up here and then turn around and open it, and I was like, boom. That looks amazing, right? So imagine you sit at a cafe, you got this on your desk, and you're like, boom, out there, create to inspire. Maybe I got to have it right here. That's the way you should hold it. So, all right, guys, I'm actually really happy how it turned out. I cannot tell you how relieved I feel now that it's all done and finished. And there might be some little tweaks that I have to work on just to get it all the way right, but I'm really excited about how it works. And look at that, with the background, create to inspire others, create to inspire others. So the biggest challenge was definitely to not mess up with the ink. The ink actually, I've tried something new, the paint markers from Sharpie, the aqua turquoise oil-based pens. So these are actually been really nice. They're a lot shinier than I was hoping for. The Posca pens, they're definitely more more matte looking in the end, so that gives a nice matte finish. But other than that, really cool how it turned out. And again, it's all about this moment when you rock up to a cafe, you sit down and you open your MacBook up and you're like, boom, create to inspire. This is what I was hoping for to get out of this this design. And this is why I love to customize my own stuff. Customize iPads, customize MacBooks. I've mostly done, I think like this is my 4th MacBook that I've done. Matt Joes, who is a YouTuber here, who has a YouTube channel, he has one. We got a really nice, cool time lapse from his one. I did a friend on a MacBook 15-inch and another one for me that was weapons of mass creation. And again, that story, just go back at the beginning when I tell that story and share about it, what happened when you rock up to a TSA agent, you get it out, and there's weapons of mass creation. It's a cool name, but it's still stupid of me to have done that. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I just wanted to tell you and let you guys know that we have recorded, based on your request from the last video that I've done, it's one of the last ones, where I shared my 5, or I asked you guys if you want to hear about my 5 favorite lettering brushes, and you said you did, so we created a video that's called my 5 favorite brushes, the top 5 Procreate brushes that every lettering artist really needs. And this is the one that's based on the 7 on 80% of all the work that I create on Procreate is done with those brushes. So these are awesome, they're great, and I hope that you guys will love this video. I've hired a YouTube editor, producer, and filmer who's helping me to create those films, shoot those films, put it all together. And so you guys are gonna see a lot more here. So if you haven't already, subscribe to this YouTube channel, put a thumbs up, and don't forget, like, if you want to share that with someone, like tell someone, a friend, give them a little hint or a nudge that you want to either customize a MacBook, and you say like, hey dude, I watched this video, I know how to do it now, give me your MacBook, I'll letter on it, I'll draw something on it, because you know which pens you need to get to make it work. You know how to do it on yourself. It's really easy. Just pencil on it, then draw on it. Try out to first test out the colors at the bottom, because that's a part that nobody sees. And so share that with them. Let them know that you are ready. You're ready for the challenge. And I hope that you guys are trying this out. Or if you want someone, a friend you know who loves lettering, you give that to them. You let them know, like, hey, share this. So thanks guys for watching, for being here. Stay awesome, and I hope to see you in the very next video. And until then, don't forget, you can also check out how to learn how to letter in my online courses, and so on and so on. But I'm really excited that you guys are here. So guys, till the next one, see you guys. Bye.